From NBA champions to first-round exits, the Milwaukee Bucks have experienced a dramatic fall from grace. But are they still a force to be reckoned with? Join us as we take a deep dive into the state of this once dominant franchise.
3 seconds, Dame pulls for the win!
It was just 3 short years ago that the Milwaukee Bucks were on top of the basketball world. With their thrilling victory over the Phoenix Suns in the 2021 NBA Finals, the Bucks had finally reached the promised land, cementing their status as one of the league's elite teams. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak himself, had delivered on his immense promise, leading his team to glory and earning Finals MVP honors in the process. It was a moment of triumph for a franchise that had long been overlooked, a validation of the team's commitment to building a winner through smart drafting, savvy trades, a culture of hard work and dedication. But in the NBA, success is fleeting, and the Bucks have learned that lesson the hard way over the past 2 seasons. After their championship run, the team has suffered back-to-back first-round playoff exits. These early postseason departures have raised serious questions about the Bucks' status as true contenders. Are they still the dominant force we saw in 2021, or have they become mere pretenders to the throne? The reasons for the Bucks' recent struggles are complex. Injuries have certainly played a role, with Antetokounmpo and his all-star teammate Khris Middleton both missing significant time due to various ailments. But there are deeper issues at play as well, from the team's aging roster to its inconsistent play on both ends of the floor. As the Bucks look to regain their footing and reclaim their place among the league's elite, they will need to confront these challenges head-on and make difficult decisions about the future of the franchise.
Talk about the points in the paint advantage, Giannis!
One of the most pressing concerns for the Milwaukee Bucks is the age of their core players. In a league that increasingly values youth, athleticism, and versatility, the Bucks find themselves with a roster that is rapidly approaching the wrong side of 30. This is a stark contrast to the team that won the championship just a few years ago, when the Bucks' blend of veteran savvy and youthful exuberance proved to be a winning formula. At the heart of the Bucks' aging roster is Giannis Antetokounmpo himself. While the Greek freak remains one of the most dominant forces in the game, he will turn 30 in December, and there are concerns about how long he can maintain his incredible level of play. Antetokounmpo's physical style of basketball, which relies heavily on his strength, speed, and agility, may become more difficult to sustain as he enters his 30s and wear and tear of the countless battles in the paint begins to take its toll. But Antetokounmpo is far from the only Bucks player whose age is a concern. Khris Middleton, the team's second leading scorer and key cog in their offensive machine, is 33 years old and has struggled with injuries in recent seasons. Brook Lopez, the team's starting center and defensive anchor, is 36 and nearing the end of his illustrious career. Even the team's recent acquisition of Damian Lillard, which was seen as a win-now move, comes with its own set of age-related questions as the 34-year-old point guard enters his 13th NBA season. The Bucks' aging roster is compounded by the fact that the team has limited options for infusing young talent into the mix. The team's draft picks have been traded away in the pursuit of veteran talent, and the Bucks' salary cap situation makes it difficult for them to be a major player in free agency.
The guards, Dame, Steph Curry.
As a result, the team finds itself in a precarious position, trying to squeeze every last drop of production out of a group of players whose best days may be behind them. Faced with the realities of an aging roster and a closing championship window, the Bucks made a bold move last offseason, acquiring superstar point guard Damian Lillard in a blockbuster trade. The move was seen as a bold gambit by a team desperate to maximize its championship window, pairing one of the league's most dynamic scorers with the former NBA Finals MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. On paper, the Lillard-Antetokounmpo duo seemed like a match made in basketball heaven, a pairing that could potentially rival any in the league in terms of sheer talent and offensive firepower. In his first season in Milwaukee, Lillard put up solid individual numbers, averaging 24.3 points per game and showcasing his trademark ability to hit clutch shots from anywhere on the floor. However, the team struggled to find a consistent rhythm with its new backcourt tandem, as Lillard and Antetokounmpo often looked out of sync and struggled to develop the kind of chemistry that is essential for championship caliber teams. Part of the issue may be Lillard's age and injury history. At 34 years old, Lillard is no longer the explosive athlete he once was, and there are concerns about his ability to stay healthy for an entire season and postseason run. Additionally, Lillard's ball-dominant style of play may not be an ideal fit alongside Antetokounmpo, who thrives with the ball in his hands and the freedom to create for himself and his teammates. Despite these changes, the Bucks remain committed to making the Lillard-Antetokounmpo pairing work. The team's coaching staff has spent countless hours trying to develop offensive sets and defensive schemes that maximize the strengths of both players. And there have been flashes of the brilliance that the Bucks envisioned when they made the trade. However, the clock is ticking on the Bucks' championship window, and if the team cannot find a way to fully integrate Lillard and get the most out of its star-studded roster, it may be forced to consider more drastic changes in the near future. While the Bucks' offensive struggles with a Lillard-Antetokounmpo pairing have garnered much of the attention, perhaps the most alarming aspect of the team's recent performance has been its defensive woes. For a team with championship aspirations, the Milwaukee Bucks' defensive performance to start the 2024-25 season has been nothing short of alarming. Through their first 4 games, the Bucks have looked like a shell of the defensive juggernaut that anchored their title run just a few years ago. Opponents have scored at will against the Bucks, with perimeter players consistently getting to their spots and creating easy looks for themselves and their teammates. The numbers paint a grim picture of the Bucks' defensive woes. The team currently ranks near the bottom of the league in defensive rating, allowing over 115 points per 100 possessions. They are also surrendering a staggering number of three-point attempts, as the opponents have realized that the Bucks' once vaunted perimeter defense has become a weakness to be exploited. If the Bucks hope to turn their season around and reclaim their spot among the league's elite teams, they will need to address their defensive issues as a matter of urgency. While much of the focus on the Milwaukee Bucks' struggles have centered around the team's star players, it's important not to overlook the role that the supporting cast plays in the team's success or failure. In the NBA, championships are won not just by the brilliance of individual superstars, but by the contributions of the entire roster, from the starting 5 to the last man on the bench. Unfortunately for the Bucks, the team's supporting cast has been a major area of concern in recent seasons. The loss of Jrue Holiday in the Damian Lillard trade was a significant blow to the team's depth and versatility, as Holiday's ability to defend multiple positions and create offense for his teammates was a key component of the Bucks' championship formula.
Holiday with the steal, took it away from Booker.
And with Tucker out, Holiday on him.
And knocks down the 3.
In Holiday's absence, the Bucks have struggled to find consistent production from their role players. DeLon Wright, who was brought in to help fill the void left by Holiday, has struggled to find his footing in the Bucks system. Pat Connaughton, a once reliable three-point threat off the bench, has seen his playing time dwindle as his effectiveness has waned. The Bucks bench, which was once a strength of the team, has become a liability in recent seasons. The team's second unit has struggled to maintain leads and provide the kind of spark that championship contenders need from their reserves. This has put additional pressure on the Bucks starters to carry the load, leading to fatigue and inconsistency over the course of long seasons and grueling playoff runs. To address these issues, the Bucks may need to look at the trade market or free agency to bolster their supporting cast. Ultimately, the success or failure of the Milwaukee Bucks will depend not just on the brilliance of Giannis Antetokounmpo and the team's other star players, but on the contributions of the entire roster. But as the Bucks confront the myriad challenges standing between them and another championship, the spotlight inevitably turns to the face of the franchise, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo's loyalty to the Bucks has never been in question, as he has repeatedly expressed his desire to spend his entire career in Milwaukee and lead the team to multiple championships. However, as the Bucks continue to struggle and the championship window appears to be closing, questions have begun to arise about whether Antetokounmpo will eventually seek a change of scenery.
Middleton inside, nice entry pass, and the slam from Antetokounmpo.
It's a familiar story in the NBA, where even the most loyal superstars have reached a breaking point when their teams have failed to surround them with the necessary talent to compete at the highest level. For Antetokounmpo, the decision to leave Milwaukee would not be an easy one. He has deep ties to the city and the franchise, and his departure would be a devastating blow to a fan base that has embraced him as one of their own. Additionally, Antetokounmpo has always prided himself on his loyalty and his desire to build something special in Milwaukee, rather than chasing championships elsewhere. However, as Antetokounmpo enters his prime years and the window for winning titles begins to close, he may be forced to confront some difficult realities. The Bucks' aging roster, defensive struggles, and lack of depth have raised serious questions about the team's ability to compete for championships in the near future. If the team cannot find a way to address these issues and build a true contender around Antetokounmpo, he may eventually decide that his best chance for winning lies elsewhere. Of course, the idea of Antetokounmpo leaving Milwaukee is still a long way off, and the Bucks will undoubtedly do everything everything in their power to keep their superstar happy and committed to the franchise. This may involve making significant changes to the roster, coaching staff, and front office in an effort to build a team that can compete with the league's best. Ultimately, the future of the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo will be one of the most fascinating storylines to watch in the coming years. Will the Bucks find a way to bolster their roster and build a true contender around their superstar, or will Antetokounmpo eventually seek a new challenge elsewhere? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the basketball world will be watching with bated breath to see how this story unfolds. But hey, that's just my take. We want to hear from you too. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts on the future of the Milwaukee Bucks. Do you think they can turn things around, or is it time for a change in direction? And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're always breaking down the biggest stories and trends in the NBA, and you won't want to miss our future videos. And hey, while you're at it, smash that bell icon too. That way you'll be notified as soon as we drop new content. Trust me, with how quickly things change in the NBA, you'll want to stay up to date.